do anything as a, not concession, because it's supposed to be so hot today, any kind of extra breaks or extra water? Or
There'll be a little break in there, 3-minute break.
How's Jalen Hyatt doing? We saw him kind of stretching
Cramped
on the
up.
side there.
Yeah, cramped up, a little tight in the lower body. We'll hold him today.
Any other guys that you look to hold with the off day tomorrow?
Nope.
I know we talked about Malik being sort of a day-to-day situation. How is he today?
Yeah, he's good.
Tracy started out his rookie year like a house on fire, and then like the last 5-6 games, all the numbers went down, the yards per carry, the expected yards. Was that just the end of a rookie season? What do you expect from him going into year 2?
Yeah, he's had a good off-season program. He got bigger, quicker, faster, more experience playing the position. Come out here, he's doing a nice job right now.
Do you see him as the everyday back term doesn't really exist, every down back term doesn't really exist anymore, but do you see him as a bulk carry guy in the NFL? Because he didn't really do that in college.
Yeah, look, I like our running back room, so we have a number of guys that I think can play. That'll all sort itself out.
You've talked a bunch of times, certainly with Russ, about communication.
Yeah.
Communicate, you know. Obviously that's important on defense too. There's a guy like Holland. Is that the same thing on that side of the field?
Yeah, you know, the safety position, there's a lot of adjustments and calls that need to be made. Make sure you get the back 7 on the same page. Holland has done a very good job since he's been here. OTAs, out here in training camp, in the meetings, vocal. He's played a lot of football, but he's very intelligent, and I think him and Noob back there communicate very well, and it helps the other guys to be on the same page.
Is that you come to a new team, so he's got to learn, you know, so
Sure.
Is it hard to do that and still try to figure out what's going on?
I mean, it can be, but he's pretty sharp. He's played a lot of football. You know, usually it's not much different. The calls might be a little bit different. His experience, I'm sure, helps him, but you know, he was a smart guy coming out. Glad to have him. He's done a nice job for us, and I think it really adds to Nubin, the dynamic of those two guys, the way they communicate with one another. Most importantly, being on the same page. You're not on the same page in that area of the field. It usually costs you pretty good. So he's been a good addition.
And is that a skill? I mean, as far as you know, you always say, all the coaches always say communicate. So they know they just have to communicate, but are some guys just better at it than others?
Yeah, some guys are better than others. Yeah,
he's better at it.
Yeah, I mean, he's smart, Paul, and he's got good vision and instincts for the game. And you know, if you can't communicate back there playing that spot, it's usually tough to do. So the safeties that I've been around, you know, Micah Hyde's, Jordan Poyer's, Laura Malloy's, Rodney Harrison's, Bucky Jones's, all very, very good communicators. Not to mention good football players, but glad we got Holland.
When you put together the roster at that position at safety, do you think about pairing guys together? Because there are 2 of them and they have to work in concert.
Yeah, I would say nowadays, you know, back in the old days, you had a down safety or a post safety, and much like I think Ryan's question about the running backs, you know, those guys got to be able to do multiple things. Sometimes there's guys that are a little bit better at playing towards the box or back end, but having 2 guys that can work well together and communicate, I think that's one of the prerequisites to play safety. You know, you have to have range, you have to be able to play man-to-man, you have to play the deep part of the field, you have to be able to tackle, but you have to be a good communicator. Again, there's so many adjustments nowadays with offenses and jet motions and bunches and motion outs and fast motion outs and variation of personnel groups and formations, and you know, the safeties are the communicators. You know, the middle linebacker is important to do that, you know, to make sure that it's tied in with the front. But the safeties in the back end, and again, if you make a mistake in the back end, you know, I thought it was this adjustment, the corner's playing one thing, the safety's playing another. Those are usually 50-yard touchdowns, and those are the big plays that we got to eliminate.
What will Holland and Adebo do for that entire secondary and the young guys you have there? What are you hoping to get from Adebo and Holland now?
A good play. Yeah, I mean, that's why you sign guys, because you think they can help your football team. Debo's a big, long corner, good experience, has production on the football. Again, the corner's job is much like the safety's job, probably less communication skills, but you know, they got to be able to play man-to-man. They got to be able to play the deep part of the field, and they got to be able to tackle. And those are 3 prerequisites to play corner. The communication, it happens. You're going to get a variation of formations, motion adjustments, stacks, bunches where there's communication, but usually that starts with the safeties or sometimes the nickel. But veteran players that we thought were good players. So.
Abdul seemed to really stand out yesterday. I wonder what you saw when you went and looked at the film.
I saw a lot of good plays, and I saw some plays that he can certainly get better at. But again, when you're taking a player that high, you expect that from that player. Malik, Abdul, but we haven't had pads on yet, so it's day 2 of practice.
How do you make sure, though, that obviously he's going to be a part of your defense this year? We see him running with the second team.
Okay.
We see him running with the second team. Obviously, it benefits him at times to play alongside some of those other guys, to get used to playing along with them, like Dex and Brian Burns and those kind of guys. How do you sort of balance that throughout the summer with him and making sure he gets those reps, but at the same time, bringing him along? You have a lot of guys at that position.
Give him reps with them. I mean, he's doing a variety of things right now. So how you script and situations and different personnel groups and what you want to get a look at. I mean, it's day 2 of camp, but he'll be in there.
I just wanted to ask about Theo.
Theo,
coming off the
sure.
injury. What kind of growth are you seeing from Theo, in his second camp?
Well, it's only the second day, but Theo is a guy that is a tireless worker, very smart for a young player, has tremendous size and athletic ability, catch radius, can block at the point of attack. I'd say both in the run game and the pass game. That's hard to do or hard to find nowadays, particularly coming out of colleges. Coming off that injury, so continue to work on that. But I like Theo. I think he'll be a good player for us.
Dave, you've obviously told us about the years in the league that you've had. You've been around a lot of great players. I get the sense when you identify a player and this guy is special, this guy has a chance to be special. Is there a psychology involved for you from a coaching standpoint? I'm talking behind the scenes, not necessarily.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
But the idea of motivating these guys to know what you expect from them, because they are a special player, and they're a special player. They think they're a special player, and how do you work that relationship versus the collective?
Honesty. Look, every play is not a great play for anybody. So you reward and give positive reinforcement for good plays, and you're honest with the plays that you can get better at. And again, I think whether it's you guys who've done this a long time, or players, or coaches, or management, I mean, when you see a good player, you know he's a good player. But we're talking about day 2. You keep continuing to, here's the standard. This is the expectation of what you need to do on each play. There's certainly going to be mistakes, but it could be a variety of things that you're coaching that didn't go right or wasn't up to expectations. So again, whether it's everybody's a good player in this league. You coach and you teach and continue to coach, you continue to teach. You show good stuff, you show things that maybe aren't as good, and then you show things that are flat out terrible, to be honest with you. And you coach off of it. Honest, direct conversations.
The world saw when you hired Shane Bowen how important stopping the run was to you. You actually said to him,
The who did?
the world, hard knocks.
The world. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, can you fix our run defense is what you said when you hired Shane Bowen on the phone. Didn't really work last year. Then you look at this offseason and you signed Robertson Harris and Golston and you drafted Alexander. Is that at the top of the list for things that need to improve for the Giants to improve stopping the run?
Yeah, it's one of them. We're where we needed to be, but the run defense is a collective team thing. You get behind in games quite a bit and keep handing the ball off. It's just like the ability to affect the quarterback. It's not just a defensive stat. If we're not scoring enough points or playing good enough team football, that affects the other side. So everybody's got to be better in regards to that. There were a lot of good plays when you go back and watch them, but there was too many explosive plays down the field, whether that's a run fit, getting off a block, making a tackle. but we got to play better team football to help out team run defense.